Hello. In this lesson, we are talking about calculating rates. But what does rate mean? Before defining the rate, let's see how two quantities can be related. So think of a trip you making in your car getting away from your house. We are talking about two quantities here. One is how far you are from your house. The other one is what is the time that you've been traveling for. So distance and time. These are two quantities. So distance and time are related to each other. Time changes and causes the distance change as well. If you consider the example that you travel 100 kilometers away from your house, in how long? In 2 hours. Then, now we talk about rates. So rate compares two quantities. In this case, distance and time. So you traveled 100 kilometers in 2 hours. So we say that the rate is 100 kilometers per 2 hours, or 100 kilometers per 2 hours. That is another sign we use for per. Alright, so rather than saying per, we use this sign. So 100 kilometers per 2 hours. Okay, that's the rate. However, there is a problem with this rate, and that is the fact that the second number should be 1. So rather than having 2 hours, we should have 1 hour. So what should I do? Then I need to divide by 2 to make this 1. But if I'm dividing this by 2, I got to divide the other quantity also by 2. I've shown it here. So we say 100 kilometers per 2 hours. You can write it like as a rate, as a ratio. 100 kilometers and 2 hours. Now we want to make it 1 hour. So we need to divide by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. So 1 hour. And you got to divide this also by the same number, in this case 2. So 100 divided by 2, 50. So 50 kilometers for 1 hour. Now we say that the rate is 50 kilometers per 1 hour, or we write it as 50 kilometers per hour. That is now a proper rate. So the second quantity should be 1 when finding the rate. That's why we don't need to write 1 hour. Hour means just 1 hour. So 50 kilometers per hour. We need always to divide by the second quantity. Both of the quantities has to be divided by the second quantity. So the second quantity becomes 1. Let's look at a couple of examples. A tank is being filled with water. So we've got a water tank which we are filling with water. 600 liters flew in 10 minutes. So in the space of 10 minutes time, 600 liters of water has flown in. Find the rate of the flow of water. So we want to find the rate. The quantities that we have here is the volume of water and the time. So we write the values they have given to us, 600 liters as a ratio, 600 liters and 10 minutes. Now, as we said, the second quantity has to be turned into 1 by dividing by the second quantity. So 10 divided by 10 becomes 1. So 1 minute. And we got to do the same with the first quantity, divided by the same number, which is 10 in this case. So 600 divided by 10 is 10. So 60 liters for 1 minute. Now we write this as 60 liters per minute. 60 liters per minute. Another example, a tree had a height of 1.6 meters 5 years ago. Its height is 3.4 meters now. Find the rate of its growth. Okay, again, as you can see, the two quantities they are talking here is growth and time. But they haven't given us the growth, but what we have is the height. So what was the height at the start of 5 years? What is the height at the end of the 5 years? So we need to subtract them to find the growth. So 3.4 minus 1.6 gives us 1.8. So the growth is 1.8 meters. Now we write it 1.8 meters in 5 years. So 1.8 has a ratio to 1.8 meters to 5 years. Again, we got to divide by the second quantity, which is 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1 to make the second quantity 1. And 1.8 divided by 5 is 0.36. Now we can say that the rate is 0.36 meters per year. And that is the rate of growth of this tree. That's all for this lesson, and thank you very much for your attention.